What if the man you trusted to guide your soul was hiding a darkness deeper than anyone ever imagined? A beloved pastor with a flawless reputation, a strong alibi, and a community that adored him. But beneath the pulpit, a secret so chilling it would shatter faith itself. Tonight, we peel back the curtain on a murder so calculated, so sinister, that the truth almost slipped through the cracks, until one slip exposed the killer hiding in plain sight. Stay with me because this story doesn't end how you think. Before we dive in, do me a favor. If you love a story that twists and turns faster than a preacher's sermon, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You won't want to miss what happens next. It was a cool spring evening in a small town just outside of Dallas, Texas. The kind of place where everybody knows your name, your business, and your Sunday schedule. Pastor Michael Harrington had been the spiritual pillar of Grace Community Church for over a decade. His sermons pulled crowds every weekend. He wore his faith like armor and carried a smile so sincere, it seemed to light up the room. His wife, Rebecca, known for her warm heart and tireless volunteer work, was equally beloved. Together, they were the town's power couple. Faith, family, and charity perfectly woven. On the surface, everything looked flawless. But on that Tuesday night, something went horribly wrong. The Harrington residence was quiet, save for the soft hum of the kitchen clock and a faint tapping sound, like a nail lightly hitting wood. At 10:47 p.m., Rebecca's neighbor heard a strangled cry, almost a whisper, but dismissing it as the wind, she went back inside. No one could have guessed that within hours, Rebecca would be found lifeless in their home, strangled to death. Detective Laura Morales was assigned the case. A sharp, no-nonsense woman with over 15 years on the force, she had seen plenty of domestic disputes and heartbreak, but something about this case unsettled her. The first person to be questioned was Pastor Michael. He was calm, composed, almost rehearsed. He claimed to have been at a charity fundraiser downtown, a fact quickly corroborated by dozens of witnesses. Surveillance footage showed him entering the venue well before Rebecca's estimated time of death. His alibi was airtight. The police widened their net. No signs of forced entry, no robbery. The Harrington home was tidy, except for one disturbing anomaly: a single, expensive cufflink found near Rebecca's body. It wasn't Michael's. An anonymous tip suggested Rebecca had been receiving threatening messages from someone unknown, but nothing concrete. The pastor's community rallied around him, devastated and confused. But the deeper Detective Morales dug, the more cracks appeared in the perfect facade. Neighbors recalled seeing strange late-night visitors at the Harrington home. A man in his 30s, nondescript but often lurking nearby. Rebecca's phone records revealed several calls to a number registered under an alias. She seemed scared, but no one knew why. At church, whispers started to circulate about tension between the couple. Not the loving partnership everyone had assumed, but arguments overheard by a few discreet members, hushed and denied in equal measure. Yet nothing linked Michael directly to the crime. What do you think happened here? Was Pastor Michael hiding something darker than a marital spat? Or is there someone else pulling the strings behind the scenes? Drop your theories in the comments, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Things are about to get very interesting. Then the break came. A security guard at the fundraiser remembered something odd. Around 9:30 p.m., he saw Michael Harrington briefly step outside, looking around nervously before returning. The timeline suddenly became suspect. Forensics analyzed fibers on the cufflink. It matched a rare fabric only found in a luxury suit owned by one man, Michael. Further, his phone records placed him near the Harrington house during the window of Rebecca's death. Confronted, Michael's story faltered. He admitted stepping out, but claimed he only went for a breath of fresh air. But Detective Morales sensed something else. The pastor's motive wasn't jealousy or rage, as was often the case in such tragedies. No, this was something far more calculated. Late-night financial records uncovered recent large withdrawals from joint accounts. Rebecca had been threatening to expose Michael's secret, something that would ruin him. The truth came out like a thunderclap. Michael Harrington had been living a double life, entangled in a web of debt and illicit dealings unknown to his congregation. Rebecca had discovered this secret, confronted him, and threatened to go to the police. In a moment of desperation, Michael silenced her, strangling her in a fit of cold calculation. His alibi, a carefully crafted lie. The cufflink, the one piece he thought he left behind accidentally. But here's where it gets even more disturbing. Further investigation revealed that Michael's criminal activities connected to a larger, shadowy network, one that reached beyond their small Texas town. There's a darkness beneath the surface of faith and community here, a sinister force that has yet to be fully exposed. Detective Morales isn't done yet, and neither should you be. This case reminds us how fragile trust can be, and how the darkest secrets often hide behind the most pious smiles. If this story left you stunned, confused, or wanting more, make sure to binge our entire playlist of real crime tales. We will dive into the deeper web behind Pastor Michael's lies, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Subscribe now, ring that bell, and join our community as we uncover truths stranger than fiction. If you thought Pastor Michael Harrington's crime was just a tragic domestic murder, think again. We uncover the chilling truth. A man of the cloth hiding debts, lies, and a calculated murder. But what if this was only the tip of the iceberg? Tonight, we dive deeper into a darkness that spreads far beyond one family. A network of corruption, betrayal, and danger that threatens to pull in everyone who dares to get too close. And don't forget, if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and ring that bell. Trust me, this story's about to get even more twisted. Detective Laura Morales returned to the Harrington home with a fresh set of eyes and a new team. The forensic sweep uncovered traces of a rare, toxic chemical on the pastor's clothes, a substance used only in high-end counterfeit currency production. Suddenly, Rebecca's murder wasn't just a desperate act of silencing a spouse. It was connected to something much bigger. Further questioning of Michael's associates revealed odd patterns: money transfers, unexplained disappearances of church funds, and whispers about off-the-books deals with a shadowy figure known only as the broker. The broker was an enigma, a ghost in the criminal underworld controlling illicit trade, money laundering, and fraud. Detective Morales tracked down Joseph "Joey" Marks, a former fixer-turned-informant, who hinted that Pastor Michael was tangled in a laundering scheme using the church as a front. According to Joey, Rebecca's discovery wasn't limited to debts. She had uncovered evidence of a multi-million-dollar fraud involving fake donation receipts and shell companies. The pressure was mounting. As the investigation progressed, threats started coming in. Detective Morales received anonymous calls warning her off the case. Her car was vandalized. Even members of the congregation whispered dark rumors, refusing to believe the pastor could be capable of such crimes. Meanwhile, Michael Harrington sat in jail, his calm facade cracking. His lawyers hinted at a possible plea deal, but Michael refused, confident someone would protect him. All right, here's the question. Who's protecting Pastor Michael? Is it just powerful allies in town, or something more? Take your guesses in the comments, and if you're new here, smash that subscribe button, because part 3 will blow the lid off this entire operation. Digging into financial records, Morales uncovered links to a local bank executive with close ties to the Harrington Church. The bank had allegedly approved suspicious loans to shell companies tied to Michael's schemes. This led Morales to question how deep the corruption went. Was this just a pastor's fall from grace, or a much larger conspiracy involving respected institutions? Meanwhile, evidence suggested that Rebecca's murder was intended to prevent her from testifying about the broker and the corrupt system in place. Just when Morales thought she had the upper hand, new surveillance footage surfaced from a nearby gas station near the time of the murder. It showed a mysterious figure in a hoodie entering the Harrington neighborhood. The face was obscured, but the gait, the build, the shoes, all suspiciously familiar. Someone was trying to frame Michael, or was there a second player in this deadly game? The community was torn, grief mixed with suspicion, faith shaken by betrayal. Rebecca's family demanded justice, but also feared the truth might unravel more than anyone bargained for. Detective Morales faced growing pressure. both from above and below, to close the case quickly. Yet she knew the danger of rushing meant letting real criminals slip free. As Morales prepared to confront the shadowy broker head-on, a final piece of evidence landed on her desk. A secret ledger, coded and hidden, with names, dates, and payments that linked not just Michael Harrington, but several influential town leaders. And in the dead of night, Morales received an anonymous text. "Stop digging, or you'll be next." What happens next? Is Michael truly the puppet master or just a pawn in a bigger game? And who is the hooded figure caught on camera? We promise to answer those questions and reveal a truth so shocking, it will change everything you thought you knew about this case. If you want to uncover the full story, join our community of truth seekers by subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. Welcome to the final chapter in the tragic saga of Pastor Michael Harrington. You've followed the trail from a seemingly perfect life, through a calculated murder, and into a web of corruption and secrets so deep, it threatens the very fabric of a small Texas town. Tonight, the mask finally comes off. The true mastermind emerges. But beware, the truth will challenge everything you thought you knew. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button now. This is one story you'll want to share. Detective Laura Morales sat at her cluttered desk, the dim glow of her computer screen casting long shadows across the evidence scattered before her. The secret ledger she'd received days ago was a puzzle waiting to be solved. Coded names, dates, payment amounts, a trail leading to the highest echelons of the town's leadership. She cross-referenced the ledger with bank records and church donation logs. The names that surfaced were shocking. The mayor, the chief of police, a prominent real estate developer, all implicated in money laundering tied directly to Michael Harrington's illicit schemes. But one name was curiously absent. The hooded figure from the gas station footage, whose identity had haunted Morales, was not on the ledger. Morales doubled down on investigating the hooded figure. After a tense day of interviews and reviewing neighborhood cameras, she discovered an overlooked piece of footage, clearer, revealing a shockingly familiar face. It was Daniel Harrington, Michael's younger brother. Daniel, a quiet man who lived a few blocks away, had been silently battling addiction and debts of his own. Motivation, revenge. Daniel had known about Michael's schemes and had been cut out of the profits. Rebecca, before she was murdered, had confided in Daniel, begging him to help bring Michael down. But Daniel's desperation had twisted into something dark. On the night of the murder, Daniel followed Rebecca home, intending to warn her. Instead, a confrontation with Michael erupted. In the chaos, Daniel saw an opportunity to frame Michael to bring his brother down and claim what he believed was owed. That's why the cufflink, Michael's cufflink, was left at the scene, planted to incriminate him. The story of the Harrington brothers was a tragedy within a tragedy. Once close, their bond had deteriorated under the weight of secrets, lies, and betrayals. Rebecca had been caught in the crossfire, her life cut short by the violence that erupted from family wounds deeper than anyone imagined. Morales couldn't help but feel the crushing weight of what had been lost: faith, family, and justice. Detective Morales confronted Daniel with the evidence. Cornered and broken, Daniel confessed. His bitterness, addiction, and desperation had driven him to stage the murder scene, planting false evidence and fleeing into the shadows. Michael's alibi, though flawed, was genuine for the murder time. He had been at the fundraiser, just as he claimed. Rebecca's death, however, was a tragic accident, a fight between brothers spiraling out of control. With Daniel's confession, the focus shifted back to the sprawling corruption network. Michael Harrington's crimes were real: fraud, money laundering, and deceit. But he was not a murderer. Yet, his actions had ignited a chain of events leading to the ultimate tragedy. The town reeled as officials were arrested and scandals unfolded. Morales, reflecting on the case, realized how often justice was blurred by human complexity. No neat endings, only hard truths. Rebecca's family found some closure, but the scars remained. The community struggled to rebuild trust, questioning how easily appearances had masked deep rot. Pastor Michael Harrington awaits trial for financial crimes, but the murder case is closed. The brothers' tragedy serves as a haunting reminder. Sometimes the worst darkness comes from those closest to us. If this story moved you, shocked you, or made you question the nature of truth and family, don't forget to like, comment, and share your thoughts. Subscribe for more deep dives into real crime stories that challenge what you think you know. And if you want exclusive behind-the-scenes content and early access to upcoming series, join our Patreon community linked below. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay curious, and remember, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction.